Hey, it's Rizzy Mama Yulia here, nutrition and lifestyle coach at Blossom Healthy, and welcome! I trust you are having a great day, and today we've got a really special guest on our show. I would like to introduce you to Dr. Michael Greger, a favorite vegan researcher, an MD, and a New York Times bestseller for his book, How Not to Die. So today we're going to be talking about paleo, vegetarian or vegan. What's best for your health? So without further ado, let's dive into our interview.
I'm happy to be here, though I consider myself less a vegan promoter than a science promoter. It's just so happens that the science suggests that eating a plant-based diet is the healthiest.
Yes, that's right. So, well, what's happening in our world is that people are realizing that the standard Western diet leads them nowhere. It leads them to nowhere, and it's a disaster for health, and they're looking for alternatives. And three pretty popular alternatives that people can come across are paleo diet, and then vegetarian diet, and then a vegan diet. So first I wanted to ask you about paleo diet. And what are your thoughts about it, and what does science say about it?
Well, I mean, one has to first figure out what one means by paleo diet. There was a study published that just asked people online who considered themselves paleo what they ate, had them send in dietary records. And it turns out the biggest difference between those that considered themselves paleo and those that considered themselves an American diet was that they were eating more vegetables. Great. I mean, if you're going to cut out donuts and eat more broccoli, I think it's a fantastic idea. If you want to call that paleo, go for it. I fully support it. Unfortunately, people often use that kind of paleo concept to just, basically support their own bad habits. Right? I mean, so if they're eating, whatever, then, they eat a lot of meat. They're like, oh, I'm eating paleo. But, so they point to this Paleolithic period, this Stone Age period, when we finally developed tools to start taking down game, as a time where, look, that's where we're evolving 2 million years, so we got to eat a lot of meat. But, even if one takes that, even if one says, okay, we should really eat based on this kind of evolutionary, kind of criteria, then, well, first of all, whether or not we should, they have very short lifespans, it's okay, but fine. Let's say we should. Well, look. We didn't, appear 2 million years ago. We've evolving. We broke off from our last common great ape ancestor about 20 million years ago. So it's like, well, wait a second. What did we for the first 90% of our evolution, right? For the first 18 million years before we started eating a lot of meat. We were eating what other fellow great apes ate, which is a 97% plus plant-based diet, eating lots of fruits and leaves and flowers. That's what our diet, that's what our digestion was meant to eat. That's what our biochemistry. The fact that we lost the ability to make vitamin C, for example. We actually still have a vitamin C gene, but it's just been junked by the body because we don't need it. Just like fruit bats don't need it and guinea pigs don't need it. Other animals make vitamin C. We don't need to because our body knows we're going to be eating so much plant foods all day. What's the point? If you look at kind of like fossilized Paleolithic feces, we're eating 105 grams of fiber a day. That's like 5 times what Americans eat today. So, if you wanted to really eat like our ancient ancestors eat, you would eat massive quantities of whole plant food with a few bugs thrown in, and that's it. That's the diet we evolved on. If they actually did follow that, then it would be extraordinarily healthy. Unfortunately, people, just eat a steak and say they're eating paleo. Right.
Yes. So it's not an answer for health, for sure.
Depends what you mean by paleo. Look, cutting out donuts, that's a paleo thing to do. That's cutting out dairy, that's a paleo thing to do. Great for your health. Look, there's processed foods. There's vegan ice cream, vegan donuts, vegan all sorts of, garbage out there. Doesn't mean it's healthy just because it's plant-based. That's why whole food plant-based is really has the most science supporting it.
Yes. Okay. So let's say someone decides to go vegetarian, so they understand, okay, so I'm not going to eat meat now, but I'll still consume dairy. Some vegetarians will also include fish, some vegetarians will include eggs, others will not. But overall, animal products are still consumed. So what are your thoughts on vegetarian diet, and what does the science say about it?
Oh, I think it's certainly much better than the kind of standard Western diet. So when one looks at the largest study of vegetarians in history, this is the Adventist II study, looked at 89,000 Californians. They compared those that eat meat to the so-called semi-vegetarians or flexitarians, those who eat meat more on a weekly basis than a daily basis, compared to pesco vegetarians, no meat except fish, compared to vegetarians, no meat at all, compared to vegans, no meat, eggs, or dairy. And they found the stepwise progression in drop in risk for leading killers like high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes, obesity, as one got more plant-based. And so, yes, we can throw the majority of our risk out the window by eating strictly plant-based. It's not black or white. It's not all or nothing. Any movement we can make along that spectrum towards accrue significant benefits. So, vegetarians live about 12 years longer than the kind of general population, vegetarians in this study. So that's certainly a healthier way to eat.
Okay, so let's go to now a vegan diet. And when I talk about a vegan diet, I don't mean a junk food vegan diet, because it's just probably as bad as standard Western diet, but it's vegan. So let's talk about whole food, plant-based, as much as possible. Yeah. Lots of raw fruits and vegetables. Is that the optimum choice for health?
Yeah, the best available balance of evidence suggests that the healthiest I can eat as a species is one centered around whole plant foods. So fruits, vegetables, legumes, which are beans, split peas, chickpeas, lentils, whole grains, nuts and seeds, herbs and spices, mushrooms, basically food that grows out of the ground. These are really the healthiest foods that we can eat. The more we can include in our diet, animal foods, processed foods, the better.
Great, that's wonderful. So tell us a little bit about your book. I think it's a masterpiece. I personally think that everyone should read it, How Not to Die. And it deserves to be New York Times bestseller. So can you just tell us a little bit about it?
I share your opinion that everyone should read it. You don't have to buy it. You can go to your local library and get it. So basically, I just, look, there's thousands of articles, more than 1,000, videos on nutritionfacts.org about every aspect of healthy eating, but it can be a little overwhelming. I mean, I do these annual year videos that look at the science in 12-month chunks, but I really want to distill all the most really compelling evidence into one place. And so to that end, I have chapters on each of the 5 leading causes of death, and talk about the role diet may play in preventing, arresting, and reverse our top 15 killers, supported by about 3,000 citations. But, I didn't want it to just be a reference book. I wanted it to be a practical guide. So to that end, the second half of the book, where I kind of center my recommendations around a daily dozen checklist of all the foods I encourage people to get into diets. And it's a free app. There's a free iPhone and Android app called Dr. Greger's Daily Dozen. You can kind of do it yourself to kind of inspire you to include a variety of really healthy foods into your daily diet.
And would you recommend people walking on a treadmill like you do for the
I do.
health?
I recommend 90 minutes of exercise a day in the book. That's part of my daily dozen. I walk 17 miles a day, 27 kilometers a day on my treadmill while I'm working because sitting is not good for you.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Greger. I really, really appreciate your input and your time and your energy. And please continue. We love watching your videos. Keep doing them. They're great.
I'm so glad I could help. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
And all the best. Bye-bye. So there you have it. If you want to restore and maintain your health, you've got to eat whole foods and plant-based foods. And I really strongly encourage you to explore Dr. Greger's book, How Not to Die. And before you go, I have a little question for you. Paleo, vegetarian or vegan, what are your thoughts about it? Please post them in a comment section below. Thanks for watching this video. Eat sweet, keep fit, and we will see you in our next one. Ciao for now!